Okay, Common Gamer here, and I'm going to read you from this book. Next story, uh, Hitler's Mystery Spy in London. On February 11th, 1936, Admiral William Kerse, chief of the Attic Regiment and inmate conference with Adolf Hitler, who held his title of President of Germany. But in actuality, he had become an iron-fisted dictator since seizing power 3 years earlier. There was unurged and candorous tone, and the Fuhrer met with his espionage ace at 8 p.m. at the Rundschlag Chancellery in Berlin. Churchill, a diamond-view nervous man with a slight lips, had been one of Kaiser Wilhelm's most successful spies in the First World War. Now he has agents planned in most government around the world. Writing into the briefcase, Churchill started a government top secret in France and said that one of his most capable operatives had just succeeded in prevailing from the first high office government in Paris. It was a total armed invasion of Germany to circuit the post-war plans of a grand territory in Europe. Admiral Kernan had been dismissed from the office while Hitler ordered General William von Brandenburg, commander-in-chief of the opposition exceed of the Societe, converting French, Belgian, and German soil that had been demilitarized and declared neutral by agreement of 7 European powers back in 1925. To keep true purpose of the Wilhelm Plan covered even from high-ranking German officials, it was said to be criminal translation experience as its code name impelled to the ground to the word that had been gone to General von Bomberg Fuel set X-Day for March 7th, only 9 days away. Back at his headquarters the next day, Blumberg called in General von Blumberg. It was Blumberg that sent the commander to be a surprise move. He said surprise renegade mustered for combat. Back of Frozen cones held by the French could rapidly bring up 20 Samuel Churchill and Kenny Churchill Vosworld hurl at French-led force. The French will make amendment of the SPAC. Meanwhile, armored singles been sent back to Germany from Auschwitz von Wutteringen. Rosenthal sent Otto Rondon Goro. Spies reported to Muster that the French were manning fortifications all along the German border, with troops being brought to hold a Hohenlohe. Germany was sending to Paris from Berlin. He warned that Hitler was going to occupy the Rhineland, so Hitler hoped for sovereignty would be lost. At the same time, German military athletics in London were sending booming messages sending one of the attacks that's the all good friend of mine in the British War Office had told him that England would plunge into the conflict along France if Hitler had the Germany to try to take the Rhineland by force. Now the grim offers from the German commanders in Berlin, Gondel Totem intelligence report back declaring that France and Britain would fight converted to French and back at Kerguel to Scotland when armed resistance from the French army. This history Ryan Roger Bunberg knew that Black and French whether convicted suddenly would trigger a disaster, result in Germany again being fully occupied by France and England as it had after the 1914-1918 war. To prevent future military advances, it is into the French and Beck Bamberg took them to see the Fuhrer, and that world also Hitler responded in a bitter tone. I have absolutely written that the French and British will not move a single soldier, he snapped. You will see that. Beck and Finch both show under on the bitter night. Only the vessel would cross and try and lost the attack would been unlikely amend the unprofessional advice at his top military leaders and brushed off the steam of intelligence, founding abroad agents in Paris and the Rhineland intelligence that assisted the French, British, and marched side by side. The Fuhrer again taken because unbreakable military chief tons of rural and have contact in England. He pre-emotional spy. This from the highest source, King Edward Vici. Okay, I found a typo. Who is King Edward Vici? Do you mean just King Edward? That was a typo. Yeah, they should have edited that out. Vici? There is no King Vici. What the heck? Oh well. The former Prince of Wales, who acceded to the throne in early 1936 on the death of King George Victor. Who was King George Victor? There was no King George Victor. What the heck? There's so many typos in this book. Interesting. How would there was a King George, but not King George Victor? What the heck? Ugh. It's probably Amerikansky that made this book. His father, this intelligence controlled the other reports that were pressed into Berlin. Hitler and most military spy, 55-year-old Leopold Gustav Alexander von Hertz, the German ambassador to court of St. James, who had co-studied the royal family. Queen Mary even referred to the Sir Andrew Gerbich, the actor before King, the Prince of Wales, had to become first and the only, and the German as Leo, and the ambassador, the Bitten David, were to avoid the Willis Wilford, an American device he was handed by his family by top government officials in the personal crisis, and Leo's husband, the also von Berlin asserts that her and the throne of the British Empire. He was not being officially Nazi. That was Hitler's personal spy in England. On the morning after the death of King George Victor again? Two mistakes in this book being published. Interesting. I don't know how they could misread that. Ambassador von Hicks said that Berlin, King Edward Vici. What? Wow, there's so many mistakes in this book. Revealed that his father in Switzerland, and then his brother of Switzerland of Germany, King Edward failed from sympathy for Germany, he added, I have become convicted to message. At any rate, we should be able to rely on having on the British throne a ruler who is not an undertaking for Germany. Now Hitler was preparing to occupy Rhineland, and a crucial role in the French military high command in Paris informed Berlin that General Muti Guillermin, commander-in-chief of army on of the Rhineland takeovers by the Germans, unless the British were making their side. That left out King Edward Vichy again. Vichy. Colonel Ambassador von Hutch assured Berlin, personally a conversation with the new monarch, that the British would not join with the French to fight against Germany over Rhineland. That was the green light for Operation Sundberg to begin, noon on March 7th. Out of the were standing in the pardon Roden before a Riley cheering audience. Men of the Reichstag, the Führer roared, and the historic hour in which the Rhineland Western provinces German troops are at the very moment marching into the future of Grosslands. Throughout the turn and the Reichsland and German soldiers were moving the Rhineland members of the Nazi salutes. Adolf Hitler, a criminal States reformer, had rolled to his head throughout his Hamlet photo. By the time the Führer concluded the operation, the Russian and Rutzberg Serland, called the Operation Code Name, had been Russian, the mystery spy Russian flying Deutschland. After Russian, a Hutch and Russian, Russia. Verbal letter of the Rhineland, the ambassador Hitler set his sights on another territories frontal the Third Reich. That's the end of this story. This part was good, but there was a lot of mistakes on this part. Like, that's shocking. William Brew, a first-class historian? I don't think so. Like, who was King Edward Vichy? There was no King Edward Vichy. Oh well. That's it. I'll read from it tomorrow, and I thank the veterans so I can read this. And if this historian's gonna write another book, you might want to get a better editor. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll read from it tomorrow.